Four signs preceding the second coming of Christ. Before the return of Christ, it is believed that four crucial signs will occur, marking deep and spiritual events. These include an increase in spiritual conflict, a global spiritual awakening, notable phenomena in nature and the cosmos, and the spread of apostasy and deception. These signs, prophesied as forerunners of the second coming, call believers to strengthen their faith, remain vigilant, and prepare for the imminent arrival of Christ. Prepare for a journey of knowledge and reflection that will challenge your convictions and make you rethink your relationship with God. This book is truly unique, standing out among all the historical works found in public libraries. The narrative of the Bible begins with the creation of the earth, culminating in an account that transcends time, from the beginnings to the apocalypse. This uniqueness is attributed in part to the absence of eyewitnesses at the beginning of time, making authoritarian writing about the beginning of our world an impossible task. The Bible thus stands as an exceptional record, covering events unprecedented in historical literature. We, however, hold exclusive knowledge of the outcome. A unique singularity, the divine revelation of the future, was not granted to the Lord's followers merely to satisfy their curiosity. It was a gift to prepare them for the imminent, so that they would not be surprised at his arrival and avoid misinterpretations. We express our gratitude for Jesus sharing with us the revelations of the future. Many question whether we are in the end times, but the Bible addresses the last days, and we have lived in those days for 2,000 years. The last day began at Pentecost, marking the fulfillment of the first prophecy of the last days. Every Christian generation must remain prepared for the Lord's imminent return. The Bible is a treasure trove of predictions, with 735 prophecies scattered over a quarter of its chapters. Notably, 596 of these prophecies have already been realized literally, aligning perfectly with the Scriptures. This represents an impressive 81% of the biblical prophecies that were fulfilled, some of them made centuries before their fulfillment. It is justifiable to have confidence that the remaining 19% will also be fulfilled. The Bible demonstrated its accuracy in every prediction that could have occurred to date. Most pending prophecies refer to the return of Jesus and subsequent events. About 20 prophecies still await fulfillment before the return of Jesus, and we are attentive, watching carefully to witness them materializing before the expected return of the Lord. Jesus exhorted us to watch and pray, indicating that we must keep our attention on global events and discern the signs he has given us as a preparatory guide. Therefore, our vigilance focuses on recognizing these signs, which are the prophecies themselves, and preparing for the events that precede the glorious return of the Lord. Certainly, let us examine chapter 24 of Matthew, where the disciples questioned Jesus about the signs of his return. In response to this crucial question, Jesus offered a direct and unequivocal answer. The clarity of his words is cause for gratitude, for he gives us guidance to understand the signs that precede his return. In fact, in the book of Revelation, he provides a more detailed and comprehensive answer, yet here he summarizes the signs that will precede his arrival. The disciples, in a secret meeting with Jesus on the Mount of Olives, Matthew 24:30-36, asked, "Tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end times?" This search for understanding reveals the importance of understanding the signs of Christ's return. Jesus answered, "Beware not to be deceived. Many will come in my name claiming to be the Messiah and deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but do not be frightened. Although these things must occur, the end is not yet immediately near. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various parts of the world. However, all this will only be the beginning of birth pains. Continuing, Jesus warned, "Then you will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. You will be hated by all the world for being my followers. Many will turn away from the faith, betray and hate each other. Many false prophets will arise, deceiving a multitude. Sin will spread widely, and the love of many will grow cold. However, whoever perseveres to the end will be saved. And the good news of the kingdom will be preached throughout the world, reaching all nations, and then the end will come." Jesus warned of the day when the prophecy of Daniel would be fulfilled, referring to the sacrilegious object erected in a sacred place. He urged, "Pay attention. On that day, those in Judea must flee to the mountains. Whoever is on the roof does not go down to get something at home, and whoever is in the field does not come back even to get a coat. Terrible will be for pregnant women and those who breastfeed in those days. Pray that the escape will not occur in winter or on the Sabbath, for there will be immense suffering, unprecedented from the beginning of the world until now, and which will never be repeated. Indeed, if this time of calamity were not abbreviated, no one would survive. However, this time will be shortened because of God's chosen ones. Therefore, if anyone says, 'Look, here is the Messiah,' or 'There he is,' do not believe. For false messiahs and false prophets will arise, performing great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the chosen of God. Be aware, therefore, I warned you in advance. If anyone says, 'Look, the Messiah is in the wilderness,' do not bother to go there. Or, 'Look, he is hidden here,' do not believe. For as the lightning shines from the east and is seen to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man. Just as the presence of vultures indicates a corpse nearby, these signs indicate that the end is near. Immediately after the affliction of these days, the sun will darken, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then, finally, the sign of the coming of the Son of Man will appear in the heavens, causing great mourning among all the peoples of the earth. They will witness the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He will send his angels with a mighty trumpet blow, and they will gather his chosen ones from all parts of the world, from the ends of the earth and the heavens. Let us reflect on the lesson of the fig tree. Just as its branches become tender and its leaves begin to sprout, indicating the proximity of summer, similarly, when they witness all these events unfolding before their eyes, be aware that Jesus' return is imminent at the gates. I say with conviction that this generation will not pass without experiencing all these events. Though heaven and earth disappear, my words will remain unshaken. However, no one is aware of the day or hour when these events will occur, not even the angels in heaven, not the Son, only the Father. In this context, he presented 4 clear signs of his second coming. So what exactly are these 4 signs that he has revealed to us? The first sign is evidently the occurrence of disasters in the world, in its various dimensions, such as wars, famines, and earthquakes. Although these events have been present for more than 2,000 years, their current intensification suggests that we undoubtedly live under this first sign. We have seen wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, and famines. Jesus warns us not to be deceived, reiterating this constantly. As we near the end, the danger of disappointment becomes imminent, both inside and outside the church. In this context, he refers to false believers, false messiahs, people who take advantage of the turmoil caused by natural disasters to present themselves as saviors. Unfortunately, we see known examples of individuals pretending to be saviors, leading people to desert places, resulting in tragedies. In addition, there is a profusion of false Christians, called liberators, who promise to solve all our problems. The more challenges arise, the more these impostors appear. However, according to the advice of Jesus, we should not be alarmed or worried about a new war, tragedy, or hunger. He expressed something surprising. These events are painful, but they are not death pains, they are labor pains. So when you come across disasters in the news, it's the pains that indicate something new is about to be born. This perspective must completely transform our attitude. We know the direction the world is heading. We should not be alarmed, dismayed, or as concerned as the world will be with these occurrences. The misfortunes in the world represent the birth pains of a new world about to emerge. So we are very distinct. We show sympathy for those who face disaster suffering and ideally manifest this compassion through help. However, in our hearts, we don't experience alarm. We experience hope. We are looking forward to the birth of a new world, so we are not discouraged or depressed by all the problems that the world has. In short, the counsel of Jesus exhorts us not to fall into despair, but to rejoice and recognize that these events are signs of something new unfolding. The second indicative of his coming is not revealed in the world, but in the church. Global disasters signal the first sign. The church, not the world, represents the second sign of his coming. While the first warning is misfortunes around the world, the second is materialized in the metamorphoses within the church. Just as he unfolded the first sign into three parts, wars, earthquakes, and famines, he also divides the second sign into three parts, all occurring within the church. The first aspect is persecution. We will face hostility in all nations. The second element of this sign would be a significant reduction in church size. The love of many will cool when the whole church is under pressure. Many nominal Christians, if not all true Christians, will abandon in the face of universal persecution, resulting in the cooling of love. That's a pretty bleak sign. The big surprise in the third part of the sign is that the gospel will be preached to all ethnicities. The third part of the sign is the proclamation of the gospel. A smaller, purified church will have a greater impact on the planet. That is exactly what Jesus is suggesting. False prophets can become a source of deception in this whole scenario. We are aware of the wiles of these deceivers. When the absence of peace prevails, they preach peace. Instead of providing a challenge, their message is one of comfort. They say, "It's okay, it's not going to happen." However, Jesus' counsel is to persist, not to yield to these false prophets. He who endures to the end will be saved. When this sign manifests itself, when all aspects of the church are despised by the world, this is Jesus' counsel to all Christians. Why should it be so? The answer lies in the fact that wheat and chaff grow together, and as they approach full maturity, the tension between them intensifies. Therefore, it is natural that Christians face a lot of pressure in the end. Christians are socially misfit elements, which can result in hatred. He world is not our home. Our citizenship is in the heavenly realms. Our uniqueness makes us targets of hatred. Like Jesus, who was so different from the others and attracted hatred against himself, John 15:19 points out, "If you were from the world would love what was yours. As you are not from the world, but I chose you from the world, so the world hates you." It is not pleasant to be disregarded. This brings us to the third sign of the end times, which is the anguish of Jerusalem. Geographically, it will be quite restricted. In this context, Jesus refers to Daniel's prophecies, and there is a character in these prophecies known as the abomination of desolation. Daniel mentions this on 3 occasions. What does all this mean? What is the big problem? It refers to a human being, a man who settles in the very city of God, calls himself God, and refuses to accept the will of anyone above his own. A tyrant whose arrival will have global implications, but who will be centered in Jerusalem, the city of God, the sacred place. So Jesus states that the fourth sign of his coming will occur immediately after that, allowing us to know when he is coming and be ready. When this sign manifests, there will be no danger of false prophets or false messiahs. There will be no mistake. It will be too fast. What will happen is that all natural light will be turned off, the sun will darken, the stars will fall. This prediction is mentioned in various places in the Bible. Isaiah describes that the heavens will be rolled up like a carpet, all the stars of the sky will be dissolved, the heavens will curl like a scroll, and all their stars will fall like dried leaves from the vine, like the foliage of the fig tree. Natural light will disappear, leaving only artificial light to illuminate the earth. What is happening? What is unfolding? It may be the question of many. "That's it!" the Christians will exclaim. The sun, the stars, and the moon will cease to shine just before that moment. God turns off the lights of heaven to prepare the way for the flash of lightning that will announce his return. Then he will come in the clouds back to earth, and we will find him. It will not be in an earthly stadium, as none will be large enough to accommodate such an immense crowd. We will meet him in the air, and that will be more than enough. Isn't that a fantastic prospect? When you witness all these events, realize that he is at the door, about to enter, he says. So Jesus makes a very simple statement involving a fig tree, and that is where many Christians go astray. He expresses, "Learn this lesson from the fig tree. When your branches become tender and your leaves sprout, you know that summer is near." Jesus is indicating to us that as you realize that all these events are taking place, you will recognize that we are on the verge. Now, the fig tree analogy is not an allegory. It is a direct comparison, grounded in everyday experiences, as Jesus often used in his teachings. Just as watching the fig tree perform these actions, you deduce that summer is approaching, so it will be when you notice these 4 signs, signaling that summer is near. Unfortunately, many people misinterpreted this as an allegory. As we explore these fascinating signs of the times, we cannot help but be amazed at the clarity of Jesus' words. It's like we're cracking a code, unraveling the mysteries of the future. Now just imagine, this is just the beginning. If you were intrigued by these revelations and want to uncover more secrets, be sure to check out our upcoming videos. Here, we delve deeper into the deep teachings of Jesus, demystifying the events preceding the second coming. Subscribe, like, comment, and share to not miss any detail of this unique journey of knowledge. The revolution is just beginning, and you don't want to be left out. Prepare yourself for a journey of extraordinary discoveries. Your mind will thank you. Until the next video, explorers of truths.